Hi guys, welcome to the Unpopular Opinion. I'm Kemi.
Fair.
Cream.
And we're real.
Raw.
And we're saying it all. Forever we're going to laugh at the end. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Unpopular Opinion. Today's episode is... I feel like sometimes I fear talking about such things because it feels like, well, they're too spicy. And I don't know.
It is quite spicy. Even I'm like, how are we going to do this?
We are going to be those people. We're going to talk about things that are spicy and stuff because it's who we are. These are our beliefs. These are our opinions, which are allowed to change.
Amen.
We'll come back here next year and change our
feel like
minds
we've
if we.
changed our minds.
Yeah. Like last year, I used to feel like this. I used to think this and that. This was my truth. Now I've gone through this experience and I think differently.
Okay.
Or I just think differently.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to say the wrong or right things because you're a human being and you evolve. So we will have these topics and we'll have them as spicy and as blunt as possible.
I love it. On that note, let's jump in. First of all, the space we are in is Nzou Media Hub. This gorgeous, gorgeous space, and they're doing all our production and all the good sound that you're hearing. Tell us. I know that you're enjoying the sound. Tell us how that's going. Our farmers.
The rice of...
No, I can't hear you. No more of that. So we'll leave all the details below if you'd like to learn more about them. Okay, so today's topic is also something we've borrowed from our good partners over at DStv. So there's a show called Sanyu. And on that show, so I'm just catching up. I'm not going to tell you that I'm all caught up. Rolling your eyes. No, you're not sure about that show. It's not for you. All right. Still, we shall pick the topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's people love it. It's just not my cup
It
of
is
tea.
really, really popular. It's really popular.
But personally, that whole storyline of maid sleeps with man of the house, it's just boring.
Okay, well, there's something for everyone out there. There's something for everyone.
Kampala cream.
Let them hire her.
I'm sorry.
Let them hire her.
Go on, keep going.
Anyway, so on Sanyu, there's this, one of the various storylines is there's this guy called Oscar, and he comes from this really affluent family.
Yeah.
And, he falls for this girl.
Have money.
That Shirun does. And, he falls for this girl who is, from a, less means.
Village. Oh my goodness. Reminds me of her stepmom. The woman is dramatic.
Right. So he's from there and she's from, humble, background. And his grandma in particular is like really not about that life. She's like, I think
their
not.
grandma is really, really snobby.
Right?
Yeah.
So it got us thinking about this whole thing of marrying up and marrying down. Because I've also seen actually people talking about it like on TikTok. I feel like TikTok can be having those bobozi of, I wouldn't marry a man who is from where. So like let's talk about it a little bit. Let's just start with would you? Would you marry? Well, I know you're already married, but okay, let's pretend.
I'm
Would
not
you
married.
marry someone who, like, maybe you're Oprah? Or would you marry someone who is, from less means? Okay, maybe not Oprah. Oprah is too rich.
No.
Okay, why?
Background matters.
Tell us more.
Background matters. It's someone who, I don't know, it's just like the things that matter to me would be completely different to the things that matter to someone who didn't grow up in the same life and vice versa. So already the level of contention is already, even before you start, it's already high,
understand what you're saying.
However, I do understand there's a lot of people do the work too. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say, for example, if a man grew up really, really poor, in a slum, their values are probably going to be different from mine. And they can do the work to, or I may do the work, by the way. It might be me who might need to do the work. But in order to eventually balance
Like
it
meet each
out,
other
yes,
somewhere.
it takes a lot of work. And what are the chances that a man who grew up in poverty is willing to do the work? Even, like, do you know what I mean?
What Claire is trying to say is this. I think you're trying to say that you, like, say Claire has worked hard, she's rich, and her child is getting married to someone from a very, very humble beginning. There's a chance that such a person, and I've seen this, by the way, I've seen it with a couple that I know, a guy who is from an extremely humble background, has worked hard for everything. He married a girl from a rich family, and I see how one of the problems they've faced in the marriage is him thinking she's extravagant, and yet
it's her normal.
It's her normal. You get so
already
Claire
the contention,
the divergent culture, the divergent ways of growing up and stuff. Yeah, so for him, he probably thinks she's wasteful, she's all these things, and for her, she just feels like these are basic needs. What do you mean?
Yeah. And by the way, even if he eventually became rich, poverty.
No,
in the head.
he's rich actually now. He's
Sometimes
rich.
if he's like
rich
he's
now.
rich, the background matters.
He just feels like, and he also holds on to money. He also, he's rich and he knows that, oh my God, money could go away.
Go anyway.
Like, because, our money values are shaped a lot by how we grew up. You hold money, you not take risks, and then you marry a child whose father is a businessman, a wealthy businessman, and for she's just like, so you've just like, say, like, we have this one thing, we've not just got this money, let us now invest in a safe thing, like, let us build rentals. And she's like, no, let us go and do this and that. And you're like, no, that's very risky. That's very risky. We can't gamble with our future. We can't. Do you see how even like the finances in your home, the financial culture in your home will also be very contentious and very different. Yeah, the ways you've been raised.
And I feel like poverty goes more than money. There is also scarcity in terms of love, in terms of you get like that background matters, you guys. If someone hasn't grown up in money and you're grown up in money, that's already
that's abundance versus scarcity.
Then he hasn't grown up with love, and for you've grown up with love. That's also another.
Because when you're from a
for
rich
him
family,
it's used to getting by without love. For him, to be mkwata konyo. But for you, you've been
your parents
pampered
are there
and what
you in the morning.
Do you understand?
They're not looking for school fees. They're reading you bedtime stories.
Do you get what I mean? And
then they used to read you bedtime stories.
They did. My mom used to tuck us in even and kiss us goodnight.
So Claire, why would you be?
What I mean? My dad no, but my mom yes.
Yeah, you reminded me.
Because there was abundance.
So in that home. We had my book of Bible stories. Should read it to us. They should read us a story every day.
You had my book of Bible stories. Yes, we had Enjatuza. Enjatuza in the Anglican church.
As we only had Peter and Jane, and no one was reading it for us.
You had to, yeah. Or the Nile English course. But then we also had Zingo and Sarah after, and Super Striker. So anyway.
And that's the thing, is that now for me, that is important to me. You get, imagine I wasn't married, and like I met someone who never had any of these things.
Yeah.
You get, it's important. We used to eat dinner at the table every single day. a set table. You get, then you buy two sauces.
And he's like,
And he's
Why
like,
are we wasting?
why are we
yeah,
wasting?
he goes to his family and he's like,
Do you know what I mean? I like to eat bacon and sausage in the morning, and for me, it is just a standard. It's not
and
even a
remember first
part
we're
of.
buying cassava
Do you understand?
every morning.
For
Fried
him,
cassava.
he looks at bacon and he thinks I'm
Because
wasting.
cassava 500 can
Which
feed the
they
entire
get,
family.
And it's you're just like, now for you, when did you enjoy your life? Me, I like to live in a car, and for him, it's like, but the car is not important. And for me,
By the way,
my
like,
entire life has been in a car.
We've never really looked at that.
You know what
There
I
are
mean?
Differences.
The difference is different.
Because if you're talking about bacon, you guys, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this.
I
Have I told you?
I only
that
saw bacon
you guys,
as
I
an
saw
adult.
bacon. I still remember it was during my post-grad. That's when I first saw bacon.
Stop lah.
I know you see me here speaking
Stop.
English.
Yeah, but let me tell you.
I used to hear
yeah,
bacon.
that's-
Actually,
yeah.
let me even shout
it's
out to my friend
true.
Portia. Portia is the person I used to hear talking about bacon since P1. Portia
But
would
me,
be telling me
I
about-
didn't even know these things were there when we were younger. I
Like,
thought they
what
were
is
here in our
bacon?
adult life.
Maybe it's because I went to Lohana.
You see now our friendship is a
We're
little
talking
bit
about it.
like
I'm like,
Noodles.
you can
it's
imagine.
bacon.
I first saw noodles when even way after campus. I saw noodles way after campus. When did I see noodles? My sister said bring them. My sister brought when she was in campus. She used to eat noodles. That's the first time. So recently, I was talking to Edna and she told me that they were there when they were in Sonsas.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, this is
even us
2009 when
family.
I was in campus in high school as well with you at the same time. How come noodles were there? I mean, I thought noodles just became manufactured like in
Noodles, I saw cause
2020.
them. But bacon?
Yeah, those are things that we didn't know. Let
Now,
me tell you
actually,
something funny.
but you see how that could be a point of contention?
I do.
You're
I
spending
do.
40,000
Somebody's like, why are you
shillings
spending that
on
money?
meat that won't even if you eat all of it, it toja kukuta.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah, yet
But now
for you
you're
it's just like
still
a basic-
It's a basic, like I need 2 strips of bacon on my plate every morning. Do you understand?
I get
And sausage, not this sausage, not, I don't know what.
I remember that first.
I want farmer's choice.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. That is 40
Our breakfast was-
breakfast alone is like 250K.
Our breakfast
You
was
get?
always white porridge because it's the one that you can dunga. It's too much, and you put have that 1 cup of milk. But nice. Then and remember, when you put the milk, no sugar. The only time they give you sugar is when there's no milk.
You guys.
And you buy
For
cassava
what
because
time?
cassava 500 is a full cavera. They put it in the newspapers, and the entire family has eaten its
You
carbohydrates.
realize how much
But we
contention
do.
there would be in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
relationship.
yeah. You're
We've
right. I feel
never
like
thought
it has
about
actually
it.
reminded me of, there's so many times now, as we are getting older, I've had these conversations with friends, probably even with you guys, I just can't remember, about how, when we were like in uni or whatever, and maybe your parents like would react a certain type of way if you're dating someone from another tribe and be like, you guys leave us alone. What do you even mean tribalism? La, 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 la. Now, it's not to say tribalism is not real, but it's that now that we're older, we can now see what
yeah,
they were
reason.
trying. They may
I
have gone about it the
yes.
wrong way or whatever, but now we can see what they were
Yeah.
trying to
In
say.
fact,
Because
me,
the
I
truth
would
is
like-
difference in culture.
I'd like to
It's not a
betroth
joke.
my daughter now.
Race.
It's not a joke.
Based off
Race,
of where they've been raised. And I
culture,
don't mean because they have so
real-
much money, but it has to be like, what
The
are
values.
What are the values of this boy's
values,
parents?
yes.
Yeah.
What kind of values is he growing up with? Do they look down on women? Do you know what I mean?
Because I think of
is
speaking
he
this-
from a loving home? And I think
But
it's
these days,
important.
when I'm dating you and I meet your family members, I would like to hear how they speak
About you.
women.
About
Even just about women.
yeah.
What are their views? When you sit, I even date your friends, but when
Yeah.
I'm dating you, I'm also vetting your friends. You get, like, I'll be listening to your friends saying things like, oh, women are thieves, or women just want your property. I know someone will be like, that's not how they think, but this is the thing about the human mind. The human mind is a sponge. It absorbs things. Do you ever wonder why you wake up one day feeling like you're ugly? I could tell you, oh, you're ugly today. You won't take it. You'll be like, Prem is a hater, right? Then months later, you wake up and you start to actually feel ugly. Look at yourself in the mirror and you're questioning yourself. And you're like, kumbe, the back of your mind received it and stored it away. And now it's starting to manifest. It's why lately, each time I react a certain way, I'm like, why am I reacting like this? Why am I behaving like this? So the human mind is a sponge. You get, so even you can't be like, oh, my friends, that guys who keep saying, oh my God, in our group of friends, so and so is cheating on his wife, he's telling these stories to his wife, but he's presenting himself as the only one who is. And even he can actually be the only one who is not cheating. But along the way, the fact that the complacency also gets to him. So when I am dating you, I'm also vetting your friends, I'm vetting your family, and you now understand why our parents were so
Actually,
close-minded.
yeah.
They wanted it to be the people that they know, whose values they know. That's why they do that whole "Oryo wankai, orumharawo."
Because even speaking the same language.
But you know what?
The truth is,
Because I'm Uganda, you
eases.
tell him, you tell me chikazi, obumvumi. And yet it's such an endearing term in
us, yeah.
Runyankole. Do you know, me, I used to hear people when I just started interacting with my Nyankole, hey, you wait chikazi, you wait chikazi. And I'm like, excuse
Why?
me?
Yeah.
Do you get? Like, why are you calling me chikazi?
Why are you abusing me?
Why are you abusing me? Because in Luganda saying chikazi, it's a real, they put you down, and yet in Runyankole, it's the other way around. It's an endearment, although it sounds so strange to us. Do you get what I mean?
I get it. I think this thing of what can in trying to like pick our partners, I feel like as you get older, you start realizing that it's not as like the whole word jazzing for
I
our
fall
parents
in
that
love.
leave me alone, me I fall
Yeah.
in love, la la la
Yeah.
is, but also like at the same time, I think that it's different now. Then they would grow up in one village with people from their same tribe. It was easier to pick a partner from that pool. That's your pool. But our pool is different. Kampala is
We are
multicultural.
exposed,
So then it's
exactly.
like, what are the odds become smaller for you to be
Find
with that
someone
same
of your
person
same
who is from
tribe.
your same tribe and your same
Yeah.
everything. So I guess now we're navigating different waters.
So I think something I've also realized about right now. I keep saying whenever I find a family that I'd be like, they have boys there. The boys are being taught like this. The parents are being intentional. Both parents, by the way, because a woman, if it's a single mother, that's tricky. Because, and I'm not putting down single women at all. It's just that women cannot teach men. Women don't raise men. So I'm seeing if it's a single mother, she be intentional about exposing her sons to good men that the sons can learn from. A woman cannot teach a man to be a man. It's not possible. Do you know things like that? And then as a woman, and I know I have a girl child, so if she's going to get married, I would love to set her up for a good marriage. Not financial. Yes, it would be nice if they are rich, but I mean, she can make her own money eventually. I'm also trying to make money so she can be the rich one as well. So I'm not raising my child to pick rich men. I'm raising her to pick good men. You get? And raising a good man takes a good village. You get? A bad village cannot raise a good man. It's really, really almost impossible. Because then if he's gone through a bad upbringing, he has to go do the work to get himself to a point where he's going to make someone a good husband. And good husband does not mean provide financially. It has to be provide financially, emotionally, mentally. You have to be a good husband. It takes a lot to be a good husband. For example, I asked a friend recently, a guy friend, and I told him, listen, we were talking, and from our conversation, I could automatically pull out how he feels respected. Yeah, men, respect is a thing. You get? So if you marry a man you don't respect, dear, that marriage is not going to work out. You get? Because respect is like air to men. You get? The Bible's not stupid putting that requirement there. If you flip it over, women, we need love. How many men know how to love their women? You get?
Census is going to tell us.
Which ones are cats,
going to let us
which ones are men, and so
How
on.
many?
Census is going to tell us.
So what I was trying to explain to him is that he has been taught that money is how you love a woman. But I have my own money. I have my own money. You have your own money. You make your own money.
What then shall we
I
say
can
to
buy
these
my
things
own
if God is
bacon.
for us?
I can buy my own car. Do you know what I mean? So when I said that to him, is that for me automatically I have figured out how you want to be respected in a short conversation.
Yeah.
So if I was your wife, if I was to be your wife, this is exactly what I do. I asked him, is it true? He said yes.
So can we bring back
Then I
arranged
said
marriages?
to him, so but for you, how would you love me other than money? Because I have my own money. I love myself. Other than, if you take money out of the picture, how do you love a woman? He had no clue.
So can we bring back arranged marriages then?
Arranged marriages. Because now for me, if I had a son, I would be intentionally teaching him how to love your daughter. a woman he meets later. You get, I'd be trying to be intentional and also give him around like his father, just try as much as possible for him to learn how to love a woman and expose him to as many men that love their women properly, not ignore them and think they are lower. You get. So for me, I think that's where arranged marriage is, because these kids are too young to be able to pick a good man out for themselves. I agree with it completely.
Thoughts as you're saying, what are your thoughts?
I see why arranged marriages were there, and also why they're there in affluent families. So for them, some of these, it's a power play. For some of the families, it's a power play. You've seen it in the Korean movies that we watch.
Even Game
my
of
son
Thrones, even
is about what? We are married. Yeah, they used to marry for kingdoms, to conquer kingdoms, for unity, to strengthen
power.
Kingdoms, yes, transport, play what, and I also really lately look at parents who feel like we've not worked this hard for our child to go and mix with the unwashed masses. You remember that episode of Desperate Housewives when they asked Gabby what she's doing with the unwashed masses? Anyway, I understand parents who feel like,
unwashed. Just saying, like unshowered people.
But you guys remember that episode? Gabby met Lynette when they were broke and she was buying TP at like a discount supermarket.
I
And she's
remember.
like, what are you doing here with the
unwashed masses?
With the unwashed masses. But like, I do understand. I feel like I wouldn't take it personal.
Yeah.
That I'm like, say a certain family is just like, Prim, I don't think you are good enough. Actually, someone has ever said that to me. Oh, you're not good enough for our brother. Yeah, you're not good enough for our brother. We don't marry people like you. And I am now the brother. Like, I probably have the achievements of the brother. I am now the brother. But that time I remember sitting with it. Like, I sat down with it. It hit me. It really hit me badly.
That we are not together in this world.
That, you really look down on me like this. But now I feel like I do understand where they're coming from, because they've grown up a certain way. They have a certain money, a certain, things, and they would like to continue that for themselves, and like, good for them. So I'm not mad that you don't want to marry a broke chick who is like just figuring things, like I'm figuring things out for myself. To also, now I'm also with the same person breaking generational curses. I am the same person doing all these things.
They don't want to come and break your curses.
Yeah, they don't want to enter your.
The parents.
Their level of generational curses is different.
Their parents broke those curses. They don't want their child now to come back at it now and pick them and stuff. I do understand it for people who decide that, you know what, the families are saying, get 2 million and leave our son.
You take the 2 million and you go.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
These people have worked so hard, to get where they are. So it's okay.
I find generational curses are a real thing, but not. I'm not saying someone in the village got a bottle and shook and stuff. That's not what the curses I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that, personally, for me, I have not known. In my line, I have not known, on my mom's side, there hasn't been a man that has had women out of wedlock that I know of. Does that make sense? If it was there, it was hush. We didn't know. You get it? I don't know. I don't know what life looks like when your dad brings home siblings from another woman. I don't. You get? Or my grandfather. Actually, for as far back as I can trace, which was my grandfather, there was none of that. You get? So what I'm trying to say is, now, if my husband had grown up, by the way, that he had seen so many wives and whatnot, what are the chances, even if he promised me at the wedding that he would never give me a second wife, what are the chances that he will make true on that promise? You get? Now, see how my children are going to grow up with half children, and you don't know how that entire thing is going to play out.
I guess everyone is trying to reduce there's so many things already in relating.
Exactly.
Like, how can I reduce all the things I have to deal with?
Exactly.
At least let us this. So as you get
Exactly.
older, you really
Because,
understand
yeah,
that this thing makes sense.
honestly, even when you look at that show we are talking about, you guys, Sanyu's dad is a really honorable, good man. He's called Bate, very good man. But her stepmother. But remember, if like say this rich family we are talking about, if they marry her, he later married her and they're together and they have a child. Even Sanyu annoys me lately, but her as a person, like a wig. But the stepmom, like you're bringing all that drama. She even like consults some witch doctor. That witch
Sanyu.
doctor? No, the stepmom.
The stepmother.
Some witch doctor in the village. It's so funny. She's called, I think, Abimala or something. But like, you're bringing that, like, you see the thing we're talking about of families mixing. These people up here, la, 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 now they are meeting. Fine, the dad is a really good, honorable man. Yes, fine, she's from a humble family and stuff. But the stepmom to Sanyu now, like the wife to Bate, is a very dramatic woman. Like, does not have good manners and stuff. So I can see why this guy's family,
Like, got to distance.
yeah, in the
themselves.
beginning, yeah, I can see why their grandmother is, like snobby. I think it also takes us back to, you remember Downton Abbey and how the dowager was very, she was just always like,
No.
yeah. So actually, that grandma Dorcas, what reminds me of that.
That's the vibe,
lady. Yeah,
by
that's
the way.
vibe.
True.
Where
Like, keep the unwashed masses away.
keep the unwashed masses like, oh dear, like that sort of thing. So I think what Claire has been trying to explain is that families have their own things.
Yeah.
They have their
And you
own
don't want to invite
habits
someone
and
else's family's
values
things
and,
into your own.
into your own home.
You get, because remember, these are our children we're talking about. We want them to be happy.
But as you talk about those things, anyway, it's good that I guess this is how things go. We were children, now we are going to be parents of people. You're already a parent of a person.
was younger,
but
now I'm old.
Like, exactly. Like, because how important, for example, was it to you what your mom thought of your partner before you married them? Because you see, now we're talking about this is what you would want from Kinsey. But will she consider so much what you think
Probably
of
not. Which is why some of us are went back
And
into
it takes us back to
Do you understand?
that thing I told you guys that
we
when
will
Uncle
go
have
back.
a saying, we birth bodies, we don't birth hearts. So
Because you have all these hopes and
That's what I'm saying.
But your kids want to do their own things.
The thing is, she will. I also accept that. I'm not going to force my child into marrying someone he doesn't want to. She will learn. Yeah, there's a divorce is there for a reason. Do you get what I mean? Maybe that's going to be my divorce is there for a reason. Listen, you can always come home. I'm never going to chase my child and say, go, whatever decision you make, you live with it. Yes, she'll live with it, but she doesn't have to live in it. Yeah. You get. So for me, and I know a lot of people will be like, now Claire, our son is never going to marry Claire's daughter. That's also okay. You know how they like now the mother is divorced. The child is also, it's okay. Those are, does that make sense?
That thing is so important because of, letting your kids know that doesn't apply to them. Because sometimes you hear these things of, by the way, if this happens, go away. Because I'll never forget, and because I never had it much growing up, I guess, not because it wasn't a truth, but,
you remember
communication.
The things of never forget in the book?
Of course. And on the bathroom doors, and on the walls of the classroom. Claire, we know you don't know those things.
I was just wondering, what are you talking about?
It's fine. So I remember this one time, I think I was going to buy a laptop. My dad was going to buy me a laptop. And he of course, he also didn't really know bamboo laptops. So he would ask the IT guy at work can you help me identify a good laptop or what? So he identified a laptop. My dad, I think we went together to the shop even. So it was a nice one of those days. So the guy, the IT guy who he had consulted was there with us. So like, yeah, no, this one, because this and this, she needs this, so this will make sense. So my dad was there paying what? So this guy, I think he just made that comment in past, I don't know, of, hey, this one, if you lose it, maybe you want to go back home. My dad said, my daughter will always come back home. And it was a small thing, but I'll never forget it.
So much.
It was a small thing. I was like, I don't know. There are things that parents speak into your life. Yeah. I really need to hear them more often. I was like, you know, even me, I can remember the
This is a
exact number of
sign for a
times my
small
dad has
baby.
told me I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's once. And it's
But
not
it's
because, I know it's not because he didn't think I'm
stayed
beautiful.
with
I know
you.
he
It's just
does.
he can't say.
It's just that affirmation means something. Like, oh, I know it's off topic, but when you said that, you just reminded me. Like, there's little things you speak into your child's life
child's
that
life.
have so much to do with how they see
Affirming your
themselves
child's
and
life,
their
yeah.
value and how they let people treat them.
Especially
But
daughters,
even, you know, even
getting
when we
affirmations from fathers.
yes, but you know, even this thing we talk about attachment styles, they come from the way your
We
child
attach
is
to our
raised.
parents,
Now,
yeah.
me, if my child is being loved and what, so I would love for her to be secure. You get, and I'm doing everything I can. We are doing everything we can to make sure she's not. She's a secure attacher.
She's not out of high thing.
But I mean, if that on the
What
other
did I
end,
say?
and she got. Thank you.
What a high thing is not there. They
floating.
wonder.
It just floats.
Yeah, just always there.
So
My
I'd really
God.
like for her to be able to get married to someone who also is secure, and you can almost
Well
always
loved and
tell
stuff, yeah.
by the way this person has been loved by, because our attachment styles are raised. You get, that's how we perceive the way we are loved or not loved when we are children. You get, so if this person wasn't loved, they might become an anxious or avoidant. Anxious any day over avoidant, because you get an avoidant.
I don't think it's an
I don't know. No, but avoidants are very abusive.
No, that's not necessarily. I'm
It is.
avoidant. Let me tell you
Not-
what I think is more
No,
important
it's
is
severe.
self-awareness.
Yes.
It's
Which
self-awareness.
is now,
I'm avoidant and I know it. So
Yes.
I'm constantly working.
that's the thing, that most
improve
avoidants
myself.
and one not aware.
I don't
You
think it's
get,
most
it's
clear.
most,
Maybe
most I know. I can tell it now from a very big far that someone is avoidant. Now you seem like a very securely attached, but because you have the tools and you're
just
doing the
working
work,
towards.
you're doing the work. You get, so for me it's easy for me to attach to you because you actually, the way our friendship has played out you have never avoided. You get, although that's now for me I'm an anxious and I'm also working toward.
Don't you think it's the awareness that's more important?
Yes,
Just be aware and
awareness,
want to work
yes.
towards.
But now I'm speaking as a mother of a girl child who's going to marry, hopefully, because these days you never know.
You don't know.
Hopefully she'll marry,
has a plant.
or she will be in a
wants to
a
pollinate.
partnership. She might not want to do humans this day. I don't know. I pray. But what I'm trying to say is that I'd love for her to be with another secure person. And because I'm a woman, I'm also a girl child who has interacted with boy children, who also knows that the majority of boy children do not do that work. You get what I mean? So it's easier to avoid an avoidant boy child than to get him to do the work.
It's a lot of science.
It's a lot of science. Now,
lot
for
of
me,
science.
I'm talking as a mother of a girl child. You get, that is hopefully going to marry a boy child.
Yeah.
I am hoping that boy child either has the tools to heal his avoidance, if he's avoidant, or attachment, or he is secure.
Yeah.
And you can tell that from background. Whether what attachment style he has, you can tell from the background. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, guys, we definitely want to hear from you as always. Let us know, would you marry up? Would you marry? Well, I think everyone would marry up. Or are there people who are like me, leave me alone, I don't want your richness. Leave me with your money. Anyway, would you marry down? Would you marry up? Do you have a preference? And or maybe even, do you agree? Like, do you agree that it makes
do they
sense?
also now look into the whole, do people now look into, because what we've really discussed here today is the diversity of cultures. You know how before the enemy was the rich person? You see how even in like telenovelas, they were portraying the rich family as
evil.
As evil.
Yeah.
And you see, it's a thing that we've grown up with. You see how people want to make rich people from like nipple babies, calling them nipple babies. They want to say
What are
things
nipple
like
babies?
like nepotism.
Okay.
Nepotism. And they want to downplay your achievements simply because your dad is rich or your mom is rich, but you
And you're
actually do
privileged.
work out. They do work hard. They do earn these things, but we like to downplay their things. We like
and
to
make it
them
seem
feel
like rich
guilty.
people are bad.
We make it seem like we want to guilt trip these kids. We want to make them feel like, like I've seen how like I know friends that are from privilege, and I've seen how they walk with their heads really hidden in the sand, because let's say they work at, like, say, the parents' business, and the people who, the other hired people are just like, oh, you didn't even earn the right to be here. Your dad just owned the company. But that's why my father woke up and went to work. Even you, as we're
If
seated here,
we
it's
gave
why
you
we
that
work.
chance, you'd
So
also
that our
grab
children
it.
could come and continue that
Yeah.
generational,
Wealth.
wealth. You understand? So why are you shaming her for coming back to work in her dad's company? Why are you shaming people for, like, why are you acting like for them they don't have feelings, that their feelings don't get hurt and stuff? So today I feel like what we touched is like just dissecting the reason why probably, like when the rich family was shown in the telenovela not wanting to marry from a certain, we talked about now like financial aspects that we never looked at, that people's financial, like understanding and whatnot, their cultures and the values of, so most like I think we've dissected the fact that it's not really personal sometimes. It's just that these people are looking at so many other things and other facts. So I'm hoping that even like as the audience could get into this conversation and see,
But also as a parent, if you've worked hard for your money, you're careful who you allow into your money
to access
because they
money.
go. First of all, gold digging is not just for women.
Yes,
Of course.
Yes.
On both sides, men also, they're rich. You get, they set themselves up dating just as much as women. So does this person really love you?
We've also seen a
daughter,
young man
our
who comes
son,
into your daughter's life
and just
makes
messes her
sell
up.
all the property that you guys have.
Yes.
We've seen these things happen to families. Like in-laws come in, you find actually a family that was once close-knit, they marry a certain woman who spreads rumors and separates and divides. We've seen a man who comes in and tells your child, let us sell this property, let us do this, let's do this. And you're like, oh my God, as like after the parents have passed, like we've seen in-laws who come in and disorganize families like that. So as we are growing older, as we are sitting here and having real conversations, these are some of the real conversations.
They really are. And a lot of times we talk about things on
relationships
surface.
and family.
But when you go deeper and deeper and deeper, obviously, your motives. What are your motives? I'm going to be thinking about your motives. You want to play in my money that I've worked my entire life for. You you want to play in money that has taken blood, sweat, tears to build. You get, and you just be thinking about it. Is it my money you're after or my daughter? You get what I mean? And how do you prove that this person actually loves your daughter?
So it's those parents who are doing background checks and you're like, Daddy, you had him trailed, you had him checked out.
But you need to make sure that this guy is not a gun.
How could you?
But for you, exactly.
Yeah, that is like, what?
Growing up is nice.
This
you have
is about
so much more depth to understanding.
We have a company and we are letting this person into
you.
our lives.
I have worked my entire life, blood, sweat, and tears, and you're bringing someone in to enjoy my money and to waste my money just because if someone hasn't worked, the chances are of them looking after that money well.
Of understanding the value.
Slim.
Understanding the value.
Understanding that value. There are very many people. We've seen it. You get. And another thing I wanted to say, just a comment, is planned kids is not an abuse. You see how people keep trying to put rich kids down by saying planned kids. These are planned kids. These are planned kids.
We should all have planned kids.
We are all
have planned kids.
Endeavor to make sure your children
have planned kids. We should have planned kids because I was talking about it on my stories this morning that we can no longer just say that I want to have 4 children and I'll give them a life. The quality of life is very important, the quality of education, because before our parents had us in vibes and inshallah, and we were still taking murulus. What is that? And when you get malaria, your mom is just there saying, okay, Panadol, right?
Could
but
be.
Now you need health insurance for each child.
Health insurance, good cover is at least 2 million.
Freaking expensive, right? And for you as well.
Per child.
And you have to make sure that as you're having these children, you also have to provide a sustenance for yourself in retirement. While for us who are our parents' retirement plan. You cannot be your child's retirement plan because the world is getting tougher and tougher, as you can see. So planned child is not actually an abuse. We should all have planned children.
Yes, it is the goal.
Planned children is the goal.
It should be the
goal. It's the goal. Hire helicopters for prom.
But like I've been seeing those things. Oh, we make another episode, guys.
About
as we went through Soch,
Jealousy,
bring back Soch.
jealousy.
Some of us were on Soch.
Someone
Yeah,
said that
pros.
people who attended
No, but I think
Soch,
it's
why are
the
you
school.
commenting
It
about
was a
prom?
start from the school.
Exactly, I was like,
there
yeah.
is
Yeah, I went
no
to Soch,
way
so I
as
don't
a
even know what's happening.
parent, and you've worked hard for your
Claire, speak
money.
for
Yes, they've
yourself.
worked hard. That's why
speak
they are
for
able to do
yourself.
those things.
No,
Other
I don't
parents, I
think it
think, are
was
doing
parents.
things.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think it
someone
was
said
a
that-
stunt from the
No.
school.
No. Claire, oyogeza bwavu. Oyogeza bwavu, Claire.
Because I remember even in high school, because okay, as we had Soch, but I remember even like when we'd hear about like the Soches of like more
Of other
classy
people's schools. Yeah, like Taiba.
kind of money that they were the
Yeah.
president of the whatever would pay. I'm like,
I think Branya
that
didn't
was the
really-
money for our entire Soch.
Branya didn't
I'm like, you
refuse
mean
to
one
pay
person brought that money?
3K for the Rivers party? We refused. We were striking.
too much.
We were striking. And I forget how we were raising money.
You know how...
There's a time we're raising money for
I have
a
my own
cloak.
thoughts, but let me keep
You guys,
quiet.
but this is a
because
conversation
we're
for
going to
We're
start-
raising money for a cloak,
Uh-huh.
for the class cloak. And we were contributing 100 shillings. I'll never forget this person.
We was in the school buying the cloak also them.
No, I would contribute as a class. You guys, as a girl who killed me, Mabel finished me. So each of us would contribute 100. Then as she said, Sito, the person you sit with, you pay, she's like, Bumi, I won't look at that clock. I'll keep asking, Sito has paid. I'll keep asking Sito, what's the time? Then Sito tells me, you guys, I laughed, I cried, I wept. So we were literally, imagine, we're just like, why are you charging us 100 shillings for that?
what?
For that clock. So we even like 3K was too much money for our Livers party. So do you see what Fiona is talking about? Relative. Like imagine probably in Sosas they were paying like 20K. Now
This one, they're bringing helicopters for you guys, eh?
You're hearing
In
1
my-
million.
I don't know.
You're like,
Planned
1
kids,
million?
right?
Like,
Planned
is this real
kids is a
life?
goal.
I couldn't
They
believe
packed
it.
Benzes right across
Yes,
countries.
that's
Even the
Wow.
dresses they're
Oh.
wearing, you guys. I see them going
They
to
were
nice
going to
places.
high.
Like I seen going to like Mona. You guys,
Yeah, to do makeup.
who was even talking about eye pencil when we were doing Soch? Eye pencil where we were wearing just like some lip balm, and you draw your line and you,
You were
go.
testing on natural beauty.
Then we spray ourselves. Do you remember this class probably will have
Pixie.
glitters? We just spray ourselves
Gift of
as
Zanzibar.
glitters, and we go.
Gift of
What are you
Zanzibar.
talking about? Anyway, you guys, that was
We're
totally
using
random.
chamomile and
So random.
cinnamon.
It's a random segue. Okay, random segue. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this episode. And also, shout out, as always, to our sponsor, DStv. Please do check out the so many packages they have available. It has sparked some interesting conversations, and we hope you'll check it out. So that when we are talking about something, you also join
Let
us
your
in the
plan
journey.
kids.
Conversation.
Let your plan for DStv
Hey,
for your
plan
plan
planned
kids.
kids.
Hashtag planned kids on DStv. So join us. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.